Your Saturday lunchtime EFL action comes from League One as a rejuvenated Charlton Athletic host Bolton Wanderers with kick-off coming up at 12:30. Well, new Charlton boss Dean Holden has made a great start to life at the Valley, and the Addicts have won their last 3 league games in a row. He makes 4 changes, including Morley making his first start since he returned to the club. Well, Bolton have had an impressive first half of the season and are firmly in the mix for a playoff place. Dion Charles is available to start after his red card against Forest Green was overturned in a case of mistaken identity. New signings Cameron Jerome and Victor Adebayo are on the bench. And this week is Football Against Homophobia Week at Charlton, with a whole host of matchday activity aimed at making the game a more inclusive environment for everyone. Well, Bolton are sitting pretty in the playoffs, having been in the top half of the table since the second week of the season. And now Charlton are looking at a far healthier position since Dean Holden took the reins. They're 15th, and a win could move them into the top half. And a very warm welcome along to your Saturday lunchtime EFL action coming from the Valley, where an informed Charlton side take on Bolton, who have promotion in their sights. Alongside me today, Danny Cowley and Sam Parkin. We'll be chatting in just a moment, but first we're going to hear from Dean Holden. The new Charlton boss is a former Bolton player, of course, and he's been speaking to Jonathan Oakes.
Well, Dean, there's certainly been an upturn since you took over. 3 wins in a row heading into this. What have you tried to change?
Tried to build some confidence in the players. I looked at the squad when I came in. There's some good players in, and there wasn't loads wrong. Tried to simplify things, but I think players like it when they got total clarity on what the game plan is, what the manager wants from them. So we've simplified things. We're running more. We're working off the ball harder. There was a few things I didn't like at the beginning in terms of some body language issues, which non-negotiables. You know, players won't play if we see that. So there's been a real buy-in from the players. Results help. Supporters have really got behind us, and yeah, there's a feel-good factor at the moment.
Fair to say today will be a real indication of how far you have come, the progress you've made.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the previous game against Barnsley was obviously a big game in terms of where they were in the league. I mean, Ian's had this team now for a couple of years. They've had some success. They've had a promotion. So, you know, we're not at that stage. We're very, very early, but certainly we had an upturn in results, which has got us up towards that mid-table. But yeah, big game for us, tough game. I watched them twice in the week already, and we know where their threats lie. Equally, they're a possession-based team in the leave gap, so we've got to make sure we exploit that. We get our quick wingers into the game, and that we can run beyond and really give them problems.
Well, Charlton have won 3 games of their 5 matches in League One since Dean Holden took charge. Before that, they'd only won 5 of their first 21 league games, and of course they put in a very impressive performance away at Old Trafford in the League Cup. It was 1-0 until the 90th minute in that game. Did themselves a lot of credit. Sam, he's had quite the impact, Dean Holden, hasn't he?
Terrific start. I think barring maybe 45 minutes at Oxford, there's been some excellent performances in there, and yeah, just simplifying 1 or 2 things. They were probably playing out a little bit too much maybe, and that was leading to a bit of anxiety in the stands, and just simplifying the game with the centre-halves in particular. I think Ryan Innes was coming under scrutiny. He looks like a different player all of a sudden since Dean Holden's come in, alongside Lucas Ness, who's had an outstanding start to life in Charlton's first team. So that's definitely a big difference. Getting the midfielders to run forward, play forward, be a bit more riskier in possession, and an influx of youth as well. I think that's definitely a pertinent point. He's given younger players more minutes and more involvement in the matchday squad. Yeah,
absolutely. And Danny, we've seen him really integrating with the fans. He's been down the local, he's been down the Royal Oak, meeting the fans, getting to know them, making that effort. How much will that be appreciated by the fans?
Massively, I think. There's been a disconnect in recent times at Charlton, and it's so important. You know, the Valley can be a really powerful place for them. I think that their home form has been where they've picked most of their points up so far this season, and to get those supporters on side and to just try to connect with them is so important. And I think always as managers and players, if you can get out into the local community, then the local community see you maybe as a human being rather than just a robot, and then are much more likely to support you when you really need them. And obviously today a fantastic game against the Bolton team that are probably going to look to come and dominate the ball. I think they're going to need, the Charlton fans are going to need to stay patient and need to stay with the team, and if they can do that, I think Charlton will carry a real threat on the counter-attack.
Well, Sam, you mentioned that Dean Holden is turning to young players. Someone who's been blossoming under him is Jezrin Raksaki. What do you like about him and how he plays?
Really clever movement, I think, off the ball, always looking to dart in beyond opponents. I think he's got the tenacity as well, wins a lot of duels, winning the ball back for Charlton, which will be important today if they allow Bolton onto them to a degree and then try and exploit their shape maybe with their two wide players. Can obviously get himself a goal, and this is a player who signed a long-term contract at Crystal Palace, so they see him as a Premier League player in the future, I would say, not someone who's going to have a variety of loans and maybe leave the club. So, no, he's had an outstanding start to the season, and as Danny just referred to, the two wide players for Charlton today, Corey Blackett-Taylor and him, are probably the key to the home side taking maximum points. They're so important in this system that Dean Holden has favoured since he's got the job.
Yeah, and he likes to cut inside as well, Danny, which is always tricky for defenders.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a real threat when he comes in off the right onto his left foot, and that 1v1 domination that he has. He's able just to shift the ball and take his shot through his left foot, and he's a dangerous player. And yeah, Charlton have a real threat on the counter attack. They're unbelievable at turning defence into attack. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how the Clash of Stars plays out today, because next we're going to turn our attention to today's visitors, Bolton Wanderers, who are at the Valley in just their second season back in League One, and they're in the thick of the playoff race, coming into this match in 5th in League One, and they're looking forward to a match-up against Charlton, as I said. And we're also going to be hearing from YouTuber Theo Ogden, also known as Thogden, and his dad, also known as Thog Dad. They're huge Bolton fans, and we'll be getting their thoughts on the season so far. That is next.
Did you bring the coverage of the EFL?
YouTuber Thogden has over 1 million subscribers to his channel. One of his most popular videos was recorded at Bolton's dramatic win over Nottingham Forest to secure their survival on the final day of the Championship season back in 2018. Thogden and his dad, Thog Dad, have been speaking to John Oakes.
Yeah, there have certainly been lots of ups and downs following Bolton over the last few seasons. Thogden, what do you remember of that incredible game against Nottingham Forest that brought you to prominence for a lot of people?
That has to be probably my favourite moment as a Bolton fan in my lifetime. To see us at the start go 1-0 down at half-time, I remember just thinking, surely there's not a way out of this, stuck in 23rd position, we're getting relegated. And then Adam Lafondra and Aaron Wilbraham with the big goal right at the end to send us out of the relegation zone. We were relying on 2 other results as well, and it went in our favour. The stadium erupted. I'd love to know how many decibels there was during the game, because it was insane. Best atmosphere I've seen at the Reebok. But since then, there was a double relegation and promotion as well, pushing for promotion again this season, so there's never a lack of things to talk about if you're a Bolton fan, is there?
I tell you what, I've been a Bolton fan for 48 years, and there's been highs, there's been lows, and I tell you what, recently there were some very low lows. There was a time when we were days, hours away from disappearing as a club. When, you know, thousands of Bolton fans, and Bolton Football Club means so much in the community, so for the club to be near to disappearing was horrible. But positive, we got brilliant new owners, we got Sharon Britton in charge, and everyone's got smiles on their faces at the moment. It's a beautiful time to be a Bolton fan.
So how did you get into supporting Bolton? Is it fair to say that Thog Dad's to blame?
I would say, and my granddad as well. I've got to give credit to Thog Granddad Barry as well. It's gone down the line and it couldn't change. I know I've got the southern accent and now I live down south, but
well, that is true, actually. He used to have a northern accent. When
I
was 8 or 9, when I lived in Manchester. Yeah, it's Grandad Barry's 83 years old. He's been going to the ground for 73 years. So it's an incredible family club, Bolton Wanderers. It really is. It's all about that. And it's my fault, isn't it, Theo? Look,
I mean, it's a 9-hour round trip to get to home games for me, getting on the train and then change and all this. And every time I'm on that train back and I'm just loving it. You know, not always a win, but there's always something to talk about. It's up and down, but it's your football club and that can't change.
So what's it like travelling the country together, vlogging for YouTube?
I think it's the ideal job. I mean, you know, it's father and son just enjoying themselves. It doesn't feel like a job, really. No. I mean, Theo is probably one of the luckiest kids in the country, in the world, because football is his life. I mean, since the age of 4, I took him to his first game on my shoulders, and he just loved it.
I think for me as well, right, filmmaking and football, my 2 biggest passions. I always like to, you know, sit down and edit. I still do a lot of my editing on my channel as well. And I just like to put things together and to see the comments come back, say, you know what, I really like that. I want to see you do that again. From Bolton fans for the last 6 years, maybe I've been making content, and they were the ones to kickstart my channel, and I still love going to the games and making videos around it today.
And it's not just about going around the country. I mean, we were so lucky to go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're meeting people from Saudi Arabia and Iran and Qatar, and, you know, the experience you're getting, Theo, as a football fan is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, and great to hear from them. Huge Bolton fans. If you watch the YouTube channel, you will know that. Let's talk about matters here and now, Sam, and the job Ian Evatt has done, promoted from League Two in his first season, 9th last season, and now in the playoff places. Papa John's semi to come as well, of course. How impressed have you been? I mean, you know him, you played with him back in the day. I say back in the day because you told me it was a while ago. But how impressed are you with the job he's doing and that he's done so far at Bolton?
Really impressed, and, you know, even as a 19-year-old player, centre-half stroke midfielder he was then, great understanding of the game, and obviously had a distinguished career playing at the top level, and he's taken that into management with Barrow and now Bolton. So yeah, he's got a clear identity how his team wants to play, and I think there's been 1 or 2 tweaks this season. Outstanding defensively, arguably got maybe the best goalkeeper in the division. He's had the luxury of maybe 5 good centre-halves to pick from. He's let one go yesterday, and I think the interesting thing from the last 24, 48 hours is the business that they've done in the transfer market, and I think that's a roll of the dice. That's a real sign of intent, getting a couple of strikers in and letting a couple of good squad players go, which I think surprised definitely me and Danny in Sadlier and Aimson. So they mean business, and he probably feels that goals is what's going to get them over the line and into those playoffs. Well,
yeah, they've got such a solid defence, one of the best in the league, Danny, but Sam mentioned those signings. Cameron Jerome came in yesterday on a free. He's 36, has signed a 1.5-year deal. And also yesterday, Victor Adeboyejo came in. He's just 25. He scored 13 goals this season. £500,000 reportedly. It's the most they've spent since Jay Spearing in 2013. But of course, they have Dion Charles, and he's had his red card overturned. Bizarre incident. It was mistaken identity. It was actually Elijah Kachunga that should have been sent off. But how important is it that that was overturned and that Bolton have him back and available? Because those two only came in the door yesterday, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Dion Charles is one of the best centre-forwards in the division. I think he has the ability to be able to link the play. He can come short and link it, but he can also stretch the pitch as well. He's got really good feet. Again, another one very good in the 1v1 moment. Good movement on the defensive line, always looking to get in behind, and a really good finisher. And I think Bolton have recruited really well since they've come into League One at the top end of the pitch. They've invested money, obviously, in Dion Charles and yesterday as well. So they've got firepower, and certainly this season, as Sam's already alluded to, defensively they look a lot more solid.
Yeah, I mean, they've got such options, such quality up front now, Sam.
Yeah, well, Charles and Bodvarsson look like the two. They'd struck up a really good partnership, and obviously there's a couple of injuries now, and Lundaloo, Kachunga's going to be suspended, but when everyone's available, there's 5 good options for Ian Evatt to choose from, and I just feel that's probably something he's identified to hopefully get them over the line. The number 10 position as well, they haven't really had a natural kind of dribbler in there, and that they've got that now with Shoretire coming into the squad and playing today. So the balance of the front looks really good all of a sudden, and when you think about how defensively majestic they've been, it should be a good combination.
Yeah. Look forward to seeing how that plays out this afternoon, because Bolton are firmly eyeing up those playoff places. If they can put a run of form together, maybe even higher, but they'll be looking to capitalise on being the only side in the top 6 to play this weekend as they take on an informed Charlton side next. This week is Football Against Homophobia Week at Charlton, and on Thursday, Dean Holden and the first-team squad met the club's LGBTQ supporters group, Proud Valiants, to understand some of the challenges they face at football grounds. These are the rest of this afternoon's fixtures in League One, and Bolton are the only side in the top 6 in action. Second from bottom, Burton face Oxford United, and new boss of Forest Green Rovers, Duncan Ferguson, is away with his new side at Shrewsbury Town. And all the goals will be available shortly after full-time on skysports.com. But if you want everything wrapped up in a neat show for you, then don't miss the League 1 and League 2 goal show tomorrow morning at 8 or 10:15. And we are counting down to kick off, so grab yourself a snack like they have, and kick off from the Valley is coming next. Well, Charlton have had a 2-week break due to their match being postponed last week. They face a Bolton side currently 5th in League One. We can hear from their boss right now. Ian Evatt is talking to John Oakes.
Well, Ian, it's been an odd week with the sending off on Tuesday, the case of mistaken identity, but Dion Charles is available today, Elias Kachunga isn't. How's it affected your preparations for this game?
It hasn't really. I think it was a real cut and dry case. It was always going to be rescinded and the ban passed to Katja. Look, it's something we've moved on from now. The main thing is it didn't affect the result on Tuesday and we're fully focused, ready for today. 2
players in yesterday, and Cameron Jerome and Victor Adebayo, both on the bench today. What can they offer you, do you think?
Well, 2 different things. Firstly, they're both very good players. They haven't managed to train with us properly yet. Cameron's just had 1 day. In terms of Cameron, he'll offer a wealth of experience. Still physically able to do the job that's necessary. That's important. We're bringing him in to affect the team, but also around the club, the mentor side of things, he'll be a really good influence, especially on the forward players, and we've got some talented ones. And Victor offers us, you know, some real good technical ability, some real pace and quality at the top end of the pitch, something that we've needed to improve on since a couple of sales in the January window.
Are you likely to need your subs today, given that you played with 10 men for an hour on Tuesday, a long journey for this game, and Charlton haven't had a game in 2 weeks?
Physically, the boys are fine. Yeah. I think because we already had the goal and the lead on Tuesday, we were almost able to sit in a low block, sacrifice the ball and just be hard to beat. So we didn't really expend too much energy. They've recovered really well and they're ready to go today.
Yeah, of course, Bolton only played on Tuesday. They beat Forest Green. Danny, Charlton's game with Peterborough last weekend was called off, so they haven't played since January the 14th. So which one would you rather be, the one that's rested or might they be rusty?
Well, I think Charlton would be frustrated because they'd obviously had a really good run up until the Peterborough game, and I know they actually got to the Peterborough game. I think the game got called off just before kick-off, so they would have done all their preparation work. It probably would have affected their ability to be able to train on that day, so they probably then didn't do anything that weekend and then have had to pick it up again this week. So I think that they would have been frustrated by that, and like Ian Evatt just alluded to there, they went down to 10 men in the first half, Bolton, so they ended up playing in quite a low block, sitting behind the ball and looking after their 1-goal lead, so probably didn't exert the same amount of energy as they normally would have. So it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds. I always think that when you're playing a 3-game week, when the 3rd game is the away game, that can be a tough challenge for the players, both physically and also mentally.
Sam, are you expecting a clash of styles today between these two, or because Charlton at home, do you think that might not be the case?
No, I think we will see that. Interestingly, the Bolton setup, just talking me and Danny, playing Johnston potentially as a left wing back, I think that could be with an eye on the qualities of Raksaki. So I'm not saying Bolton are going to change hugely, but maybe just have that little bit of understanding that that's where the game could be won by Charlton on transition. And therefore, I think, yeah, Charlton will probably sit in, not go too aggressive and try and press Bolton, because Bolton, we've seen, are so expansive. They can play teams off the pitch, they can work it up. Charlton are probably likely to sit in, and that middle third maybe try and win the ball and obviously exploit Bolton's lovely expansive shape with those 2 wide players. So I think there will be a bit of a contrast, but you know, 2 teams in a really good place. I expect goals today. I think it'll be quite open fair. I don't know which way it will go though.
Right, OK, let's hope you haven't jinxed it, and let's get to our commentary team. Lee Hendry alongside Gary Taphouse.
Many thanks, Michelle. 20 games to play, 9 points off the playoffs. Can Charlton mount a promotion bid after their excellent start under Dean Holden? Bolton will expect to be in the playoffs at least. They've got a lot of work to do if they're to challenge the top 2, but they're certainly going about it the right way under Ian Evatt. Both sides have their targets. Can either of them pick up 3 precious points here in South East London this lunchtime? It's a chilly day. Let's start with a look at the teams. Dean Holden makes 4 changes to the side that beat Barnsley here a fortnight ago. That includes a first start from Macaulay Bonne since he rejoined the club from QPR earlier this month. Corey Blackett-Taylor also comes into the front 3. Albie Morgan into midfield, and Matt Penny makes his debut at left back after joining on loan from Ipswich 7 days ago. Ian Evatt has top scorer Dion Charles available after he was mistakenly red-carded for violent conduct on Tuesday night. The real culprit, Elias Kashunga, is suspended instead. Kieran Lee replaces him. He scored 3 goals in his last 2 appearances against Charlton. George Johnston comes in at wing-back, with Randell Williams dropping to the bench. Yesterday's new signings in attack, Victor Adebayejo and Cameron Jerome, are both named as substitutes. So Lee Hendry alongside me. Which of those 22 players are you interested in today, Lee?
Yeah, it's the Palace loanee, and Raksaki. He's got traits of Zaha in him. He's got all sorts of skill, great ability, can go on either side. I like the fact that since Dean Holden's come in, he's given that little bit more of an advanced role where he's in such a danger, and amongst the top scorers. Don't be surprised if he's on the score sheet today. Conor Bradley, another loanee, Liverpool this time. The progress he's made under Ian Evatt has been absolutely excellent. I think his slight build, but his tenacious approach has really impressed me. I must say, he is an automatic outlet on that right-hand side. He has to choose the right time to go forward, because Blackett-Taylor will cause problems today.
So 2 managers enjoying life at the moment, shaking hands there. One of them could be very pleased today. Charlton look for a 4th win in a row, and of course Ian Evatt going very nicely in the top 6. Referee is Carl Brook from Scotland, last here for Charlton's draw with Cambridge in August. Bolton have won the last 3 meetings between the sides, and they're unbeaten here at the Valley in their last 3 visits. Johnny Jackson scored the winner the last time Charlton beat Bolton here, and that was in 2014 in the Championship. And the Championship is where both these sides would love to be next season. No match for Charlton, of course, last weekend. Their game at Peterborough called off because of a frozen pitch quite late on. No such concerns here today. Now they can end this poor run of results against Bolton. They haven't beaten them home or away for 6 years. So we're good to go here. Charlton have dedicated today's match to football versus homophobia. The players are set to take a knee ahead of kick-off as the fight continues against all forms of discrimination in our sport. Football is for everyone. So it's Bolton to get the ball rolling here. Charlton in the red jerseys, raring to go after 2 weeks without a game. They're looking to win 4 league games in a row for the first time since November 2020 under Lee Bowyer, 26 months ago. It has been a really good start to life under Dean Holden for the home side. This is a big test today, that's for sure. You only have to look at the big table to know that. 10 points from 5 League One games since taking the job last month. And there's a genuine belief, talking to some of the supporters before kick-off, a genuine belief they can make the playoffs this season.
Yeah, well, it has to be, don't there? And I think when a new man comes in and takes charge, you feel that they have that bounce effect, lots of changes around the place, and I think when you have to look at the league, and it is wide open if you get a good run together. I do always say that amongst the EFL, when we come to this stage of the season where it is business-like, and all it takes is run 5-6 games and you find yourself right in the mix.
Bolton excellent form themselves, just 1 defeat in 8, and of course they've played twice since the Addicts last took to the field. They're looking to win back-to-back league games for the first time since October. Just 2 of the last 15 in all competitions. Bolton having a really excellent season. This is their captain, Santos out to Toll.
Well, he has been fantastic, Ian Evitt, he really has. I just felt that his patient approach, I think the fans have had to buy into what he's brought to the football club. You have to think, Bolton Football Club, you just expect it, and I think that they've got bags of cash to go and bring players in because of the size and the stature, history behind the football club, but he just really took his time, brought the right personnel of players in, and to suit his style of play, which has been brilliant this season, because it is hard to actually manage and actually play that way in this division.
Looking to build straight through the centre. The referee saying, well, initially said play advantage, and then I think he felt he had to pull it back, really.
And I did feel that. I thought that it certainly is a foul, and I think if the more you look at it, it actually isn't a foul, is it? But he couldn't make his mind up, and that's why he wanted to let that play continue on the right-hand side. And Conor Bradley did receive the ball, but this in the central area of the goal where you feel that it's a shooting opportunity.
It's right on the borderline, isn't it? The wall is just by the D. It takes something special to score from this sort of range, but certainly Morley fancied it straight away. What a blistering free kick! An absolutely magnificent goal from Aaron Morley. On his 50th appearance for Bolton, that is quite some way to mark it. What a goal!
You only have to look at the travelling fans to show the appreciation of that finish. Well, almost Beckham-like, wasn't it, the way he's struck that with technique. It's at some distance, by the way. And I tell you what, no chance for the goalkeeper. It's always fading away from the goal, the centre of the goal, off the inside of the post. And that just shows the quality that he hits it at, and the absolute precise precision of where he wanted to put that ball. Brilliant finish, and what a start for Bolton.
Well, he scored in the first 2 league games of the season, Morley, and he hasn't actually scored a league goal since until today. It's some way to end that little drought, isn't it? A magnificent goal. Bolton underlining their promotion credentials here early on. The first meaningful attempt of the game.
Well, I think Morton will have to thank Carl Brook for bringing that ball back to the dead ball situation, because they were going to let that phase of play continue. It actually wasn't a foul when we looked at the replay, but have a look at this. Absolutely fantastic. The whip, precise. There's a slight flick on way, but take nothing away from the technique and the strike from Aaron Morley. It's a brilliant goal.
What a wonderful angle that was, by the way. Now a free kick at the other end to Charlton as they look to try and bounce straight back, in by Fraser. Good looking ball to the far post, comes out here to Penny. Chance to drill it to this near side, and it's Innes who gets his head to the ball. Big threat from set plays.
Well, they will try and utilise the likes of Innes. He's got that physical presence. Corley Bont. That's where they have to bounce back. Plenty of time to get back into this game. There's no rush. There's a patient approach, and you know how fantastic Charlton have been this season at home. It's where they've won the majority of their points.
Big diagonal from Ricardo Santos, headed away by Clare. So what is Charlton's response? They have conceded the opening goal 10 times this season. They're yet to come back to win any of those games. Blackett-Taylor. Defended by Toll, but it is a corner to the home side.
And that's what Corey Blackett-Taylor's been brought into this side to do, and that's to stretch, to get Charlton high up the pitch. He's direct, running wanted to see, wanted to get that big touch out of his feet. Wanted a foot race with going top.
First corner of the game. Santos got a big head to that, but it's been allowed to bounce. Dobson trying to make something happen. Trafford has the ball safely within his grasp.
It's been a brilliant start to the game, hasn't it? Frantic. It's been a superb goal for Bolton. And there has been a good response from Charlton. I don't know how they're going to play. Certainly under Dean Holden, he wants to get the ball into them wide areas where Morley Bonnie's a major danger, but two wide players are also certainly the key to the way they set up.
Free kick here to the Trotters for that challenge on Gethin Jones. Ticking off there for Clare.
It was, wasn't it? It's a late one in the back. Back of the Achilles from Clare. Might be his first and his last.
1-0 enough for Bolton in the week against Forest Green. Of course, they played the majority of that game with 10 men. Bit different coming here to an informed Charlton side. It's a giveaway by Santos this time. Oh, he's been caught in possession there, Penny. This is good stuff from Shoretire. Chance for Charles! Oh, off the underside of the bar via a deflection. How on earth is it not 2-0?
Well, it should have been. And that's just because Charlton just get caught out at the back here, you'll see. It's really poor, isn't it, from Penny? Shoretire did brilliant just to square that to Charlton. You're just expecting that to be goal-bound. It ends up being a really good save from the goalkeeper. I'm not sure he knows an awful lot about it, but off the underside of the bar and away. Relief to Matt Penny.
Well, terrific goalkeeping from Ashley Maynard-Brewer, needed to be, and he got that little bit of good fortune as well as the ball crashed back off the bar. Fraser finding Blackett-Taylor. What a terrific tempo to this game. Heavy touch though from Blackett-Taylor as he tried to cut inside. Give away by Innis. Shoretire. Now they're coming forward down that left side as well. Swarming forward here, Bolton. Johnston inside to Morley, the goal scorer. Good work by Macaulay Bonne helping out defensively.
I do feel that they're going to have to get back into some form of a unit, Charlton, because of this formation that Everton Bolton play, back three, and then they throw bodies so high up the pitch, and that's why we're seeing a lot of access coming in wide areas. We'll see it on this right side with certainly Connor Bradley, and we've seen it with Gethin Jones already, 1v1. So they have to be cautious of that.
Making the run there is Dempsey. Hacked away by Albie Morgan. Terrific save this.
It was, I think there was a little bit of a stitch-up, wasn't he, from the centre-half partner. So he just plays that back, and it's a brilliant save, it really is, from Brooke. Just has to stand big, gets enough contact on it just to force the save.
Massive frustration for Dion Charles. He's got 7 in his last 10 League One appearances, including the winner on Tuesday night. He'd have expected to score there.
Well, he would have, but can't fault, he did everything right. He's hitting the target, and ends up being a fortunate save. Keeps him out.
Raksaki just beaten to it by Ricardo Santos. Penny, mightily relieved that that ball didn't end up in the net. The sort of debut you want. It's excellent work from Morgan to win it back. Raksaki on the outside. Dobson. Penny. By Dobson to Ness. It's really good pressing high up the pitch from the visitors.
That's how you never wants this team to go about their business, and that's why they play so high up the pitch. They squeeze bodies, they work in units really well. Such a good foundation and structure that they have in that team.
He's been caught there by Charles.
He's doing what every centre forward does, and that's hunting and chasing things down needlessly. Has to get across. She utilises his body, just forcing Lucas Ness to the ground.
Having a really good season, signed from Accrington a couple of years ago. 8 goals last season. Already got 13 this campaign. Collected here by Dobson. Morgan out to Clare. Morgan again. Too much on that for Raksaki. Not happening for Charlton in the final third just yet.
Yeah, it's all about tidying them final passes up that they're trying to get Raksaki on the ball. Blackett-Taylor has to be a little bit better. I do feel they do look dangerous, but it's the final ball that's let them down so far in this first half. Is just when they've received it in the midfield, it's just been a bit patient.
Straight out by James Trafford. And then straight out by Bradley. Another throw to Charlton here. Penny. Cutters off Connor Bradley for a corner.
It's good from Matt Penny, just indirect. They have to force the issue in these wide areas, they really do. I think that Connor Bradley will like to get forward, but if you can force him back into that defensive area, it just allows Charlton to play high up the pitch, get bodies forward. That's when the fullbacks can be and will be important today.
Fraser with the corner. Innes is up on that far post, trying to tee it up for Bon. Followed by Penny, and to that far side, and Innes had stayed forward. And they've decided it is a throw to the home side. Don't think he necessarily agreed with that one. Good work from Raksaki, wonderful balance. And brought down. The referee thought about giving a free kick earlier than that, but allowed him to keep going. He loves those mazy runs.
Yeah, as I said in my close-ups, he does have the sort of traits of Wilf Zaha, doesn't he? Like the fact that he's really positive, direct, got great skill. Really nimble, low centre of gravity. I love the fact, love seeing young players running at defences. It's their worst nightmares. You need to get him on the ball.
Now, 3 players having a little discussion here. It's been left to Fraser and Morgan to decide what to do. In it goes by Morgan. Oh, and the header is from Raksaki. And I don't think he got the contact he wanted. He was unmarked.
I'll tell you what's poor defending from Bolton. They are amongst the best defences in the league, and it's really far too easy. Isolated on his own, no one picking him up. It is difficult, he's having to adjust, but just can't generate the power on the header. It's a super ball in from Albie Morgan, sorry. And you just feel that that was a big chance for Charlton, wasn't it?
Well, if he does follow in Zaha's footsteps, he probably won't get many headed goals in his career. I think Zaha has 3. But that was a good chance for Charlton to strike straight back. Santos. Lee. Charlton well found there by Morley. Could be onto this as well, Bradley. And Maynard Brewer has it within his grasp. They do look very dangerous when they move the ball quickly. Bolton.
Yeah, they do, Charlton and Dion Charles. I think you have to say is that he's relatively quite tight. Touches in the opposition box is what you're talking about, Gary, is that they do look dangerous, don't they? But again,
you need more of them.
You need more of them, yes, for sure. And they do look dangerous, obviously, but Charlton, they do look effective. They have tried to force the issue in the opponent's box as well. So wide open.
Dobson did brilliantly there against Bradley. Blackett-Taylor always fancies himself with his pace to go on the outside. And it's been well stolen by Fraser. He's in behind here. It's all about the cutback. And he did the one thing that he didn't want to do, which was allow Trafford to grasp it.
And I tell you what, he did brilliant, James Trafford. He really did. He's trying to play it as they do Bolton. He just giving the ball away. It's excellent. I like the drive, the fact that he takes the ball into the box, Fraser, and he has to have correct hands, because you can just see he's got Saki coming in and could have easily had a little nick away from the goalkeeper, maybe forced a penalty, but brilliant.
These are two of the in-form sides in League One right now. Certainly looking that way, isn't it, the way it started? Thrilling stuff so far. Only the top 2 in Derby County have won more points than these two since Boxing Day.
And as I said, it's great to see that bounce factor, isn't it, when a new manager comes in and Oldham his interest, best interests at heart here at Charlton. He wants to take the club forward. Bags of potential. These are 2 very big football clubs. It's a long back of Premier League.
We'll challenge that from Johnston. Charlton will keep it going. Switch to Blackett-Taylor on this near side. Smash that straight against Toll. It's travelling as well.
That's brilliant defending again from Bolton and Bradley and Toll. That's what I said, they have to Charlton force them 2 back.
A bit of a late one from Dobson. That's how the referee's seen it. Caught Lee more with the follow-through, I think.
George Dobson, that's what he's in there. He's in there for a reason. That's the break play up to make challenges. That one definitely is a little bit late. And we had a brilliant challenge that was a little bit earlier. Standing strong in midfield. A player that I really like. One of them unsung heroes in a team for sure.
One of those that just plays every single game. Started 58 of the last 59 League One matches, Dobson. Innes with some defending to do here. Width is the key for Charlton. You look at the pace they've got down the flanks. I had those wise words from Sam Parkin before the game. They can be so effective on transition. We've seen that time and again this season.
The two formations are so different as well, and this is where effective Bolton are. When you get that counter-attack style where they can really expose teams.
Lee. All the way through to Bradley. Look at how many white shirts are in the box here. And Charles was in the middle. Couldn't quite stab it in, but goodness me, had half the team in the box there.
And that's what they do. They leave themselves really light in the back. Look at all the white shirts. Comes out to Conor Bradley. He's brilliant. He doesn't just flash a ball in. He's looking for something that he can just carve something open, which he does. Ends up coming out that wide side of Ethan Jones, who tries to bend it in the far corner, doesn't he? Very close. And that's why they are so dangerous on the turnover in play.
Well, midway through what's been a pulsating first half here. So much to admire from both sides. Says Blackett-Taylor. Penny. Dobson. Terrific range of passing, and Clare's been barged over there. Bradley pleading his innocence. Jones was there as well. I think it was his barge, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and Carbrook didn't know whether to let play continue, but just have a look at Gethin Jones. He's fixated on the ball. He's got every right to go and make the challenge on Clare, which he does. And a real good flow to the game. You can see both teams are high in confidence and really want to get on with things.
Free kick taken by Clare. We get the first contact as well with Macaulay-Bonne. Back by Penny to Dobson. Now Blackett-Taylor. Again heads for the dead ball line, and he's done brilliantly. Morgan. Back with Innes here. Now Ness. A bit of a swing and a miss there from Penny.
How dangerous do they look when you get the ball out to Corey Blackett-Taylor? And it is just a matter of fact is, go and get yourself 1v1, go and be direct. He's done that every time he's got the ball. He's got nothing else in his mind of what can I carve out, what can I create, whether that be a cross or a shot that we've seen so far in this first half. Really good from Charlton.
Scorer here against Lincoln 3 weeks ago. Blackett-Taylor. Here's Bradley. Now Toll. Morley. Down the line by George Johnston. Morley. Sensational free. Morley. Still his sensational free kick that separates these sides.
It's quite amazing. Since the goal, we've seen a lot of Charlton playing that final third, as you can see there. Almost pegging them back and forcing Bolton to get back in their defensive unit, so Dean Holden will be really pleased for sure. And it is when they get the ball out into wide areas, like Saki showed signs they can turn that play over, and we've seen Blackett-Taylor do it also.
They'll still be wary about the pace for Bolton on the break, of course. Dempsey dispossessed. Here's that turnover of possession again. Blackett-Taylor. Held it up this time. Penny's made a good run inside. It's excellently done by Owen Toll.
He just overcooked, didn't it? to release that pass. There was 2 options on there, and Morley Bond giving him the option through the middle. Penny giving him that option down this left. Just making them right decisions, and that's one thing that I will say about Charlton is they've got themselves into some fantastic positions, but it's just been the final pass that maybe hasn't got them back or given them the chances that they deserve.
Santos met by Ness. Here is Bourne. Brackett Taylor. Penny. Nice break kindly for Dobson. Dobson got it away. Charles thought he was away. Yes. Managed to clear his lines under pressure.
Excellent from Lucas Ness. You can see that Bolton want to turn it over. Switch things on the counter-attack for sure.
Raksaki, lovely drop of the shoulder. Then a drop of the other shoulder. Brilliantly done from Jez Raksaki. Oh, would have been a stunning goal, wouldn't it? That is what he is all about, pushed away by traffic.
It's brilliant to watch, Gary, it really is. And the fact that he can go either way and have the ability, and I said the low centre of gravity where he just goes past people and then has the confidence to take that shot on. I think the pitch might have just helped. You can see the bobbles en route to goal that just forces a big save from James Trafford. Brilliant play.
So another corner for Charlton. Santos with the header away. Shoretire looking to lead the counter. Ball was on for Charles. Dempsey. Too much on that for Bradley.
That is a worrying thing, isn't it, with the turnover and the counter-attack that Everton and Bolton are clearly looking to play, having getting that first goal. And it is the danger because Charlton obviously trying to get back into the game. It's close margins for both sides.
Well, action north of the border tomorrow. Livingston versus Hearts in the Scottish Premiership, 12:30 Sky Sports Football. And then that is followed by Dundee United against Celtic from 3:30.
Well, George Dobson, that's what his game all about. He wants to break things up, and I think that might be his last one before he could enter Carl Brooks' book for sure. Just stopping Kieran Lee from going forward.
I don't think he'll be going for goal this time. Half an hour gone. Lifted in this time, and the goalkeeper hasn't dealt with that, Maynard Brewer, but the whistle has gone with 2 players down in the box. Made the decision to come and get this. Could have gone wrong.
Yeah, well, you have to dictate and authorise that box. Nearly did go wrong, didn't it? Because I think he witnessed the danger. Just as he comes in, there's a big clash. George Johnston, and then the foul. Let's have a look at this goal again. It's truly fantastic. This angle, brilliant from the camera crew. There might be a glimpse off the hair. Might be a bit of gel on that ball as it enters the net and hits the inside of the post. It's a brilliant goal. And there's them celebrating fans. Made a young boy happy.
Dreadlock assisted, that one. Beautiful strike, wasn't it? It's 4th of the season in all competitions. No problem for George Johnston. Well, Bolton have certainly made their move, haven't they, in the market? They've looked at their league position and thought, well, we could really go for it here. Couple of big forward signings yesterday. Victor Adebayo and the experience of Cameron Jerome. You heard Michelle say before the game, for Adebayo, they haven't spent that much on a player in a decade since they signed Jay Spearing. So it's a real statement of intent for a club going for promotion, and their chair Sharon Britton very much spearheading that.
I think that, as I said, I feel that they've had to be patient in the way they've had this steady journey, and it is certainly going in the right direction. And I do credit everyone that's involved at Bolton Wanderers, I really do, and that's including Ian Evatt. You know, he's had to recruit, he's had to bring in. I remember speaking to him when he came in, and he said we have to really be careful the way we approach things, and the fans have to buy into what we want to bring to the football club. We haven't got the money to go and bring in big players. We have to bring in loans, free transfers, which he's done, and eventually now we're starting to see the quality shine through. So brilliant job, and I think they've gone about business very, very well.
Well, George Johnston here was actually caught by Ashley Maynard-Brewer when he came to get that, got his elbow right in the back of the head. That's a really sore one.
Well, it is a nasty one, and it's one of them where if it's taken that much time, you know, we've touched on head injuries, and you have to be careful, you really do. And as we've seen on the slow-mo, it's a real nasty clash, coming in with some force. So let's just hope he's okay and they'll take the right precautions.
I think he has been their best and most consistent defender this season, George Johnston. We have seen him more often than not in that back three, but playing at wing back today, where he's also very effective. Not a player they would want to lose, but when it comes to head injuries, you don't take any chances. You certainly shouldn't.
No, for sure. I'm pretty sure that the physios, the medics that are on site will double check, make sure that he's okay and everything right for him to be back available.
Johnson a scorer actually when these sides met earlier this season in September. And after that 4-minute stoppage, we're back underway. Bon and Santos going for that ball. Ushered back by Aaron Toll, Northern Ireland defender. 10 minutes left of normal time in this first half at the Valley. Wide it goes by Morley. Jones finding Lee. Lee just sliding that ball to the edge of the box. Oh, and he's hit it again. Aaron Morley holding his head as the ball just goes narrowly wide, and I mean narrowly.
Very, very close to being 2-0. And it's that man again, isn't it? Oh, Morley, it's a super strike as well. Right, because it's come back at him at pace. That's why I say the compliments of the technique to hit it at that pace. So close to having a brace. Really good approach play again. Patient from Bolton, wide areas, feeding the appropriate players to get and try and expose Charlton, which they nearly did once again.
One of those where the goalkeeper is so relieved to see it flash wide. He's getting nowhere near that. The Welshman Jones with the throw, and as you can see, Charlton ended up on the deck.
I didn't know whether he'd slipped him just as he turned away here. This will explain what he actually did, and he did actually slip, but similar to where the goal came from, where I didn't feel there was a foul. Charlton, and this is similar, so Charlton will be hoping that that similar sort of situation doesn't reoccur.
Morley over the ball. It's a great delivery in towards Toll on that near post. Had a cracking first half, Morley, hasn't he?
Been excellent, hasn't he? And yes, he'll certainly highlight his goal, but again, just stamping his demand in that midfield area. Pretty good delivery into the box, as we've seen then.
The 22 years of age, signed from Rochdale a year ago. This ball in this time. Dempsey. Bradley. Kyle Dempsey again. Ball comes off Dobson, which will give Bolton their first corner. Once again, Morley on set-piece duty. Referee spotted a push inside the box as the ball was swung in.
Well, before that corner came in, Santos was having a little tussle around here, and I think he does either get hold of the Innes. They're both at it, so I don't see the problem.
It's a brawny confrontation between those two, isn't it? Ness with the up and under. Can ball, the referee's given it.
What's been impressive about Bolton this season, and they proved that against Forest Green the last outing, is that they manage games really well. At times they will be under pressure, but defend gamely. That's what they've done here again, haven't they? And 1-0 up early doors, and really showed a good defensive structure.
Fraser and Morgan over the ball. It will be Morgan eventually. It goes by Fraser. Morgan once more up towards Innes, who's stayed forward. Under pressure there, Morley. They have won it back, Charlton. Taylor goes over. Charlton brings it away. And Innes is battling there with Charles. Charles cuts inside, then outside. And Reynard Brewer makes the save. There's that threat on the counter again.
Yeah, Dion Charles, he's a massive outlet. He is, and he hasn't been much in the game in this first half, but it just shows his importance, and the turnover in play. Charlton doing brilliant, and then the spin round the corner. Finds himself 1v1. Ryan Innes, he does brilliant just to carve that opportunity open. It's hard, it's slow. Reynard Brewer again using his legs, just forcing that ball away from his goal. ends up being a good save because there is a deflection en route as well from Morgan. Made some really big saves, hasn't he? Brewer. I think that was the biggest one, particularly coming to the end, towards the back end of the first half. You always want to stay in the game, and as I said, Charlton have looked a threat. They've just gone a little bit quiet as this half's gone on.
Shola Shoretire. He made his first senior start on Tuesday night. Second one here. Quick feet from Lee. And Dobson on the deck. And behind it goes for another Bolton corner.
Good defending from Scott Fraser, because it's a super little pick out from Kieran Lean to Conor Bradley, who's looking for a cheeky nutmeg there. Just to find himself in a great opportunity of maybe getting a strike on target.
Second corner for the Trotters here. Morley goes near post. Oh, it dropped really kindly for Toll. A swing and a miss. Toll again. Pandemonium in there for a moment. Shoretire to lift it in. Big queue forming on the far post. Charlton desperately trying to scramble it away. Somehow they've survived. Still, Toll will keep it going. Charles fancies another go. And then a strike from Johnston. And Bolton just cannot believe it's only 1-0 here.
Well, in a number of chances, and they've all turned over in the matter of just under a minute. Charles, just like that opportunity he had there. Johnson did brilliant, just trying to figure out how he's going to get his shot off, which he drags the shot. And then this is a brilliant block, it really is. That strike towards goal. It does look like it's one of the defenders, it's Ness, that just throws his body on the line, and then it's like a pinball machine in that 18-yard box.
A combination of Ness and Dobson, I think, kept that out. Crucially, as we approach half-time. The
delivery again from Morley from the set plate, the corner, which is put into the box. And that's where they've looked dangerous, haven't they? Bolton Wanderers. As you said, Gary, they could have easily been 2-3 up.
Shoretire went over, no foul this time. Raksaki tried to stab it forward, didn't get enough on it. Really looking to assert their authority here, Bolton. Dennis, safety first, but under some severe pressure at the back as we move into 4 minutes of first half stoppage time.
Here's a block. It's Toll that strikes it, and then there is a double whammy there, isn't that, defensively? It's Ness and Dobson.
Here come Bolton again. And there's another save for Maynard Brewer.
Looks like it's Dempsey just gets the ball in the centre of the park. Just comes out here, actually on the wide area where he gets an opportunity. Pretty routine, isn't it, for Maynard Brewer? He'll be relieved. I'm pretty sure Dean Holden will, to get into the changing rooms for this. Get ready for the second half.
Yeah, a stray arm there from Johnston on Raksaki. This will just mean more stoppage time at the end of stoppage time. That's a painful one as well. Well, still very much in the game, Charlton. I think Ian Everett easily be all over if we'd just been a little bit more clinical. They've had the chances.
Well, I think that's what they have been this season. They've been clinical, but they just haven't scored enough goals. And as you said, the longer games go on, the chances that you miss through games and don't have a bit of a comfortable feel factor just gives the opposition hope, and that's what it will be for Charlton.
And someone who knows a thing or two about sticking them in the net. And for Charlton as well, of course, Mark Bright, and I'm sure he's keeping an eye on Jez Raksaki in his Crystal Palace capacity. He'll be very, very impressed with what he's seen so far.
I'm pretty sure he will be, and I want to see a lot more from Raksaki, I really do, because when he's got on the ball, he really does set this place alight.
Forward it goes by Morley, cleared by Innes. Penny to take the throw for Charlton, in towards Macaulay Vaughan. It's a lovely layoff as well. Fraser went over, referee had a good look. Instead it's Charlton, and the free kick has now been given Charlton's way.
I actually felt that both incidents here were very similar, so I think there was a slight arm from Santos on Fraser as he's going towards the danger. This will explain and give us a clear indication. It's the arm across. It's got to be a foul, it really has, and then as that ball comes out, there's another foul on the halfway line, which was very similar. So I think he's got that one wrong, Carl Brook.
Albie Morgan to lift this one towards Innes on the far post. Drops for Dobson. Tried to slide that in for Raksak, a good idea. They were alert. Bolton. And Charles has won the free kick. He's done everything but score, hasn't he, in this first half?
As I said, he's so important to Bolton's play. And he's been up there alone today, so he does that while he looks after the ball when it comes into his chest.
Goal kick. Cutters off Kieran Lee. Well, that is 5 minutes of stoppage time played. Bon. Santos hooks it away. Forward it goes by Penny. Bon. Headed by Toll. And excellent work from James Trafford. His clean sheet remains intact, and he's got plenty of them this season.
And you can see why, because he's reading the game really well. And there's that with the sweeper, isn't he? Just knowing that anything that comes in his box, it's his domain.
Well, two sides who've served up some excellent lunchtime fare so far, and what a blistering, stunning goal it was by Aaron Morley in just the 4th minute, as good as you'll see. An absolute beauty. Jezra and Raksaki going very close at the other end with a labyrinthine run. His effort well saved by James Trafford. Chances at either end. It's been great stuff. Half-time at the Valley. Charlton 0, Bolton 1.
Welcome back. Bolton 1-0 up, and they got off to a flying start. Danny, we're going to look at the free kick, but the build-up to that you felt was key, and credit to Shola Shiratire.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's been a real handful all game, and he just come loose, received the ball, dribbled and tracked, and won the free kick. And then, what a fantastic strike! We said in game that it reminded us of David Beckham, just his technique, his standing foot so close to the ball, and the amount of whip he was able to generate, and just to find the top corner, fantastic.
Does get a nick off a bit of hair in the wall, Sam? Does it even matter?
No, it doesn't. It's so deliberate. It's almost like a pass, if that makes any sense. And yeah, his standing foot so close to the ball when he strikes it. It's an absolutely sublime effort. Yeah,
it's unsavable, isn't it? In that little postage stamp.
Well, it's a keeper that's been brilliant for him. So probably was going to take something special today.
Well, yeah, Bolton will be disappointed actually only to have one, won't they, Sam?
Yeah, they've been very good. The front two very fluid. It's really worked as a partnership. Shoretire floating around, not playing in the set position. Obviously a bit of a mess defensively between Ness and Penny there. Good spatial awareness from Dion Charles as well, pulling into a great position, but it's the way he delays the passer. You can see he's a quality operator, the low knee, and that's a brilliant save. You know, he opts for power. You can't be too critical of the striker. It's a great stop.
And then maybe Morley could have a second here, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely. A really good, well-worked move again, passing into the box set, and a really good strike. And yeah, Maynard Brewer didn't move. He could have easily found the bottom corner. And they've been really good, Bolton. Like Sam said, the two forwards have played loose, and I think it's given Ness and Innes, the two centre halves, a real problem.
Charlton haven't had too many bright moments, but when they've come from someone we highlighted before the game.
Yeah, from Makasaki. I think he's been probably the only threat for Charlton. See here from a cross, a header, probably not something you recognise him for. The second chance is much more like him. Receives it with a touchline behind him, works the space, comes inside. Some really good late deception. Goes to shoot fakes, and then creates the extra space to then take the shot on with his left foot. And yeah, probably been the only threat really for Charlton.
Yeah, we were shoved to square it, weren't we? But I think he was right to take that one on, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, he showed the defender that he can go on the outside and come infield in one move there, which is a difficult proposition for any marker. He's a talented player. Me, being a former striker, not necessarily want to see from Macaulay Bonne, but the team need to try and get him into the game a little bit more. Obviously, Lee Byrne's been doing great stuff, so that's probably a change that will be made at some point in the afternoon. But Macaulay Bonne's starved so far, so need to get the other two forward players into the game. Yeah,
Charlton need to get back into this one because Bolton got off to the best possible start. Bend it like Morley for Bolton. His 50th appearance for Bolton marked in stunning fashion. Can they hold on to their lead? Can they add to it? Can Charlton get back into it? Second half is on the way. Well, Ben Stokes wasn't happy about the cricket schedule, but it continues tomorrow. The second ODI between South Africa against England, 7:30 for your Sunday breakfast over on Sky Sports Cricket. England needing a result in that. Our attention firmly on the Valley, which isn't that happy at the moment because Aaron Morley was a contender for goal of the season. A beautiful free kick early doors for Bolton that gave them the lead. Charlton need to get back into this one. The second half is on the way. Welcome back. News of a change for Bolton. They're forced to make Declan John coming on for George Johnston. That's because Johnston is injured. Took that blow to the face in the first half, Danny. But what else would you be doing if you were Charlton right now? They've got Miles Leeburn on the bench who they could call on. He's got 8 goals so far this season. Might Dean Holden be looking to him?
Yeah, quite possibly. I think he's had a fantastic start to the season, or start to his career at Charlton, and he's a real handful, got real athleticism. He certainly will give them a different dimension to Macaulay Bonne. I think they've probably got to try to get control in midfield. I think Bolton have dominated that area of the pitch so far, so I think he'll be looking to try to do that. And it's difficult for Charlton now because Charlton have had their success under Dean Holden, playing on the break and playing on the counter. And of course, when you concede that early goal, that kind of strategy goes out the window. So now for them, they're going to have to be the protagonists. They're going to have to try to get control of the ball and try to create some more chances. But they probably need to get Blackett Taylor into the game and also Macaulay Bonne.
Yeah, Brackett Taylor's so quick. Do you think that'll be the message from Dean Holden, just to get at his opposition and just get down that side and try and get the balls in? And if they're tempted to put more balls in, would that call for a change up front, perhaps?
Yeah, there's been flashes from him. Raksaki's probably been the more eye-catching of the Charlton forwards. So, yeah, I think Liban does become an option at some stage, because you can probably go a little bit more direct to him. You can flash balls in from wide positions, and he has more presence than Macaulay Bonne. So if they're really chasing late on, that could be a change in tactic. But defensively, they have to do better against Bolton's front two, and some of that stems from the midfield area as well. So having a bit more protection, stopping the balls into them, and Ness and Innes need to be a little bit more determined, a little bit more dominant, win their individual battles. It's difficult because the front two are sharp, but that gives them a platform. 1-0, game's not lost, and taking it into the latter stages, I'm sure Dean Holden would probably take that now.
OK, well, Declan John confirmed then coming on for George Johnston. Let's get back to our commentary team. Lee Hendry alongside Gary Taphouse.
Yes, many thanks, Michelle. Should be a cracking second half, this, shouldn't it? It's a rare old day when Charlton don't score. Only failed to score in 2 of their last 19 home league games. They had their chances in that first half. Options on the bench, as you've been hearing. I'm sure we'll see them in due course. It's whether or not they can break this Bolton resistance, because they haven't been conceding many, the Trotters. As I said, one was enough in midweek. It may well be enough here. Let's see. Charlton to get us underway in the second half. Charlton who've won just one of their last 31 League One games when conceding first. The one was almost a year ago now, here against Wimbledon. They came back to win 3-2. They've got the tools to come back, that's for sure. And a chance straight away for Morgan! Inside 20 seconds of the second half! Albie Morgan has drilled it in, and it's all square!
Wow, you did shout it up. I was expecting a real response, and what a response that is from Charlton. The home fans are absolutely buzzing, and what a finish this is. Albie Morgan, the approach play was fantastic, it really was. A little bit direct, as you see, but they're picking up the pieces. Have a look at the movement, the passing range here. Just the ball inside, into Bonne, into Morgan. The great little touch-up from Raksaki, and the finish, well, you hit it hard and low, you test the goalkeeper, back across goal, it bounces in front of him, which makes it difficult. As I said, this pitch doesn't look fantastic, but credit to Morgan, he hits it well, and that's what just does enough to beat James Trafford in the goal. Brilliant response.
Well, his only other league goal this season was in that absolutely astonishing game here against Ipswich, which finished 4-4. Charlton 4-1 down in stoppage time, somehow nicked a point. Wonder what that goal will nick here. There is Morley for Bolton. This is Declan John. First league appearance for him since October. Jones. John again. Jones again. John sweeps it in. Innes gets it away. Morley. John. Slayed off the Lee. A decent sight of goal there. Kieran Lee found the away fans.
And expect better from Kieran Lee. A technical player, just receives the ball on the edge of the box. It does take an age to come down. Strikes it high over the bar. Here's the goal, it's brilliant. 1-2, great interchange. Love the fact that they're passing and moving, not admiring passes. Super little layoff, wasn't it, from Raksaki? And then the strike, the bounce. I think it is just does enough to force it past Trafford in the goal. I didn't want to actually bring this up, but just at the start of the half I did ask for it, and I tell you what, it's a brilliant response. So all of a sudden it changes the whole aspect of the game, doesn't it? And I think it's really strong from that Bolton perspective, but we know how good Charlton are at home, and it is the response they want, so it doesn't look as bad after all.
I mentioned Charlton usually score at home. It didn't take long to prove me right there. 22 seconds. Here comes the free kick for Charlton by Fraser. All the way through to Raksaki. And he caught it nicely, but straight at Trafford.
Yeah, all of a sudden it does look better. We did see glimpses of it in the first half. It filters all the way out to Raksaki. Patient, it's a hard one to hit the goalkeeper from there, but Reddy keeps his head down and tests the goalkeeper. He will be disappointed when he's been superb and at the heart of that defence. Yes, they've been good defensively, but he's made some super stops, 16 clean sheets. Absolutely remarkable. We won't want to see that one again.
8 clean sheets in 10 up until that goal going in. This is Lee for Bolton. Morley. Jones. John. It's really nicely rolled into Dempsey. Square ball to Lee. This could be a chance for Charlton. Lovely quick feet. And just didn't quite catch it, but he shifted it beautifully onto his right side.
Yeah, excellent. Declan John's been brilliant on this left-hand side. He really has. Immediate impact to the game. Movement, his passing range, and the ball inside. Just the intricate passes that we've seen throughout the game from both sides. And Charlton, well, he expected and felt he possibly should have done better. Just couldn't get control of the ball to generate a shot towards goal. Excellent game so far, I must say.
Ball flick on by Lee. They could be in again here, Bolton. This is too deep.
And again, a player that I expect better quality from, Conor Bradley. Loads of time as well, but I could see his intention. He wants to flash that hard and low. On Charles, who was into the 6-yard box.
Bradley, another one who scored against Charlton earlier this season. Charlton took the lead in that game at Lancashire. Bolton came back to win it by 3-1. All 4 of those goals coming from crosses into the box. And he's inviting Charlton to try and run. Clearly not running very smoothly here. Shola Charlton has been so important to what they've tried to achieve here. He might have to come off, I think.
Moving very gingerly, isn't he? They've certainly got complete backup, haven't they, in that forward area?
Nursing the left side of the small of his back, Charlton at the moment. Here's Declan John in round the back. First touch just in front of Charles. Ghosted in completely unnoticed there.
He's been excellent since he's come on. He really has been at the heart of everything. He's played a lot of ball down this left-hand side, but should have done better as well.
Morley! Good save from Maynard Brewer. Caught that very, very sweetly again.
Yeah, brilliant. The intention. They're so patient in their approach, aren't they? Bolton, and then it's out of his feet, and strikes at target. So important you hit the target, which he does. And forces another big save from Maynard Brewer.
Still not happy at all, Charlton. I don't think he's able to contribute much at the moment.
I think they've just one of the substitutes. Get ready.
Comes the latest Bolton corner. Oh, a free header for Santos. He can't believe he's headed that wide.
Well, that has to be better, because that goes down as a real big chance. Particularly for Ricardo Santos. Just creates that half a yard. I don't know whether Innish just does enough with his height that just puts him off his actual approach and his attempt at target.
He's never scored, Lee, you know, for Bolton on his 116th Bolton appearance. What a chance.
Well, not going to get a better chance, is he?
Now there is the shirt of Victor Adebayo. This is how Charlton picked up his injury, we believe.
That's the strike on target. It might be just the landing.
So we're going to see the Nigerian forward Adebayo, signed from Bolton just yesterday. Already scored against Charlton this season in November. It was a very entertaining 3-3 draw. He's toiled a bit in recent weeks because of playing just one up front. Very different with Bolton, of course. Last goal, a penalty on Boxing Day. So Charlton off and Adebayo on.
I actually thought he might have started the game. I know it was quick turnover and getting him through the door. I thought he might have just come straight into the starting 11. Another good opportunity. We know he's capable of scoring goals. As you said, playing with a 2 might just suit him here at Bolton.
Look at the Adebayo who was at Barnsley and the one who was at Burton. Two very different players, and again it just shows what confidence can do in a run of form.
I always say that it's always a learning process for younger players, and playing in different styles and formations that suit in that forward area. And it's an area that you are criticised very easily on.
So he's right up there with Charles. Formidable looking partnership. Raksaki. Claire. Switches it out to that left side, and Penny. Forward by Fraser. Blackett-Taylor. Dobson. Raksaki. Foul by Gethin-Jones. Free kick to Charlton.
Well, it's clever from the young man, because rather than staying out there, he wants to get in to them little pockets where that's where the goal came from, wasn't it? In an area, it is a foul. I just feel like Gethin-Jones is really eager to go and challenge. Now we're finding the centre of the goal, where very similar to the Bolton goal.
Well, it's closer, isn't it? Because the ball is inside the box this time. But it's certainly Albie Morgan territory.
Does that make it a little bit easier?
You tell me. No chance of me putting it in the top corner, I can promise you. Well, there's an expectant buzz around the valley. Fraser there as well, but it's surely going to be Morgan. Morgan strikes! Good stop for Trafford. Flew across to his right.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've seen two brilliant free kicks from a similar range, and again, this one just doesn't have the complete accuracy on, but hitting the target is a big must to force a save from Trafford. A million miles off.
Fraser with the corner for Charlton. Cleared as far as Morgan. Fraser. Oh, look at that away from Charles. Glorious bit of skill. And all the way to the byline as well, just in front of Bon, away by Santos. Morgan tries to play it in. In it goes by Dobson. Awkward header that one for Bradley. Whipped in Raksaki! What a chance for Charlton to completely turn this game around.
Well, that is the best opportunity of the game for both. We've seen create and carve opportunities, but this one is a must score. It really is. Raksaki, ball that's flashed back across an area where there's no one near him at all. He could actually have a touch. The ball in was brilliant from Morgan, and then execution from Raksaki. He'll be disappointed.
Raksaki looks for Bon. It's not where he wanted it. The offside flag is up. Good game though, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. Set up really impressed with Charlton for sure. Lots of young players that they have on site today. But a good response in the second half, just being better in possession of the ball in the final third has actually showed that they are capable of carving chances open. Great bit of skill, reminds me of myself back in the day. And then the little cut back, there was just a host of different little opportunities, but Raksaki's got to score, and it should be Charlton 2-1.
Under 8 was a long time ago, wasn't it? John. Dempsey might take it on here. Good block by Innes. Cleared by Blackett-Taylor. Bon. First touch straight out of play. Frustrated with himself. Such a good start to the second half, look at that.
Yeah, it's been excellent, it really hasn't. Yes, we do. And we do see a lot of it, Bolton dominating a lot of the ball, but just how much better Charlton have been in the second half. We've really had the ball, things open.
Here's a chance maybe for Charles. Clare made the block. Did he take too long? Seemed to have a lot of space. Toll. Cleared by Fraser.
It was good refereeing, I think, because I think there was a foul that was flagged for, but Brook just allowed Bolton to continue that phase of play and that attack, and they should have scored.
Yeah, I feel like we've said that a few times in this game. John, been brilliant since coming on down this left side. It's a classic example of someone who's been desperate to get a piece of the action. An injury has allowed him to, and he's showing what he can do. John again, stayed in. Dempsey. Ricochets to John, who's onside. It's a comfortable catch in the end from Maynard Brewer. He's seen the run of Bon, isolated there with Ricardo Santos. Bon is very, very strong, but not many get past Santos when it comes to sheer brawn.
Oh, I love to see little battles, duels like that, and as you said, two physical players. They're not shy to put themselves around, and I might just say Santos, I think he won that battle in the end, but good refereeing as well, because them little incidents can turn quite ugly, can't they?
If he barges you, you stay barged.
It's developing into a bit of a basketball match, it really is, because it's so wide open. Both sides feel that they can go and take all 3 points.
John for Adebayo. Trying to link up there with Dempsey. Saki up to Bon. Morgan with a bit of a slip. This is two sides in form, both slugging it out for a victory. Missing a lot of quality here. It's a lovely ball out wide by Morley. Cleared by Penny. Toll. Dempsey, Jones, John, Dempsey, Morley, Jones, Morley. There's a good attempt to find John. Behind it goes for the goal kick.
He'll feel so we should have done better in this opportunity, and the advantage that was played was brilliant. Credit to the officials, and then it's the big delay. I just think the reverse pass, you can't see, I think it's Declan John that's to his left-hand side, a little reverse pass or a back heel. I think it does create an easier opportunity, but striker's instinct, very greedy. Credit to him, but you have to make sure there's an end product.
Certainly movement in the Charlton dugout. I sense the opportunity of getting a win here. They make the right subs. Charles has been really well found there by Declan John. Innes, excellent bit of defending as well.
He's done brilliant, Ryan Innes, I must say, because the times that Charles has faced him up and had a 1v1 battle, 9 times out of 10 he's dealt with it.
By Dobson this time. Dempsey. Lovely disguise pass that was to Lee. Lee again goes over. And look at the referee. They wanted a penalty there, Bolton.
I actually did feel that. That was a massive, massive case for a penalty. I think Fraser's saying, well, if you're not going to give it, put him in the book. Slowed down. It's a different verdict, it really is. He's coming across, there's the momentum. And you can understand why this angle explain. And I tell you what, he gets his leg right across. So, I tell you what, I think that could have been a penalty, I really do. He's got a fantastic view of that.
So on comes Tyrese Campbell, 19 years of age. He scored his first senior goal in his last appearance against Barnsley a couple of weeks ago. You can see Ian Evatt pretty clear he felt that was a penalty.
I'm not far off his radar either, to be honest. I want another look at it. But it's a difficult one because they're both going for the ball, and I just think it's the trailing leg that's certainly forced the issue, and I think I'm not 99% sure.
Dempsey, and it's squared for Charles, who sticks it in. A mistake by Innes at the back. He apologises to his teammates, but it's a costly one because Bolton's top scorer tucks it into the empty net, and the Trotters lead for a second time.
He's game's been unbelievable, it really has. Yes, it certainly is a mistake, but it's credit to the way that Bolton press hard the pitch. They work hard, try and force issues, fall out wide. Boyaja been brilliant, and the spin, the turnover, just can't get the header away from goal. It ends up being a really easy finish for Dion Charles, but just have a look at Ryan Innes. I've just said how well he's done defensively as well. The commentators curse, and he doesn't go and greet that with the authority, and then the little clip back. You see here from Dempsey, it's just such an easy routine finish for Dion Charles.
I think he deserves a goal, doesn't he, Charles? Been absolutely terrific today, once again for Bolton. Midway through the second half, it's the visitors who lead again. It's a strike from Fraser, well over.
Yes, good bit of feet in the midfield from Fraser. I did see head back, the cross. It's a striker's dream. He's still got a little bit to do, but someone of his calibre and confidence. I've seen the misjudged header resorted to. The excitement, the easy finish for Dion Charles.
Could have taken a touch there, couldn't he? But he hit it first time. No mistake. Now, do Charlton have a response again? Penny smashed that against Lee. Comes out to Campbell. Down the line by Dobson. Campbell, fleet of foot, straight into the midriff of Trafford.
Did need a little bit of an injection of pace, and it has done on that left-hand side with Lewis Campbell coming on and placing back at Taylor. That man's worked so hard and deserved his goal, hasn't he, Dion Charles?
Player that cost Bolton, what, 340,000 from Accrington a couple of years ago. Money very well spent.
You do feel it was a great signing, wasn't it? I remember him and Bishop playing up top and really good centre forwards who work hard. I want to see this penalty incident and clear things up, I really do. Because the more I see it, the more I felt it was the touch away, and it's the momentum that takes him completely off his feet, so it's a penalty for me, and I really cannot understand why Holbrook has not pointed to the spot. I know the slow-mo doesn't do it any favours, but there's no contact on the ball, and you can see why Ian was furious.
In by Morley, and not a problem this time for Maynard Brewer. Challenged by Lee, right on the touchline, and that was certainly a big collision.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got a great view from here, and Kieran Lee, he loses his footing en route to go across to Albie Morgan, and it's horrible, it really is, but you'll have a look on the slow motion where, as he approaches him, he trips and he falls into him. It makes it look ugly, and he's apologetic. You can see, blame the divot, I think, on the pitch, but you'll see here, as he goes across, he either slips or he just trips, loses his footing, doesn't he? And then it is definitely a wrestling challenge in the end. He just takes him completely out, but I think he just does, cushion his fall and tries to protect him as he falls on him. So credit to Kieran Lee, he got up straight away, apologetic, maybe have a word with the ground staff.
A fine challenge in the Six Nations, that one. First yellow card of the match. Innes is up. Dempsey gets it away. Charles. That's the free kick. Not going to get it. Charlton give it away again. Charles once more. Oh, beautifully done by Bolton's top scorer, Declan John. Bradley. Nicely done. Oh, he wants it back again as well. Beautiful bit of football that was from Bolton.
That is Bolton Wanderers in a nutshell. And the style of play, look at the movement. Brilliant. Bradley, not admiring his pass, goes into space. Kieran Lee's picked up some brilliant positions in that little 10 pocket. And then the finish didn't just put the icing on the cake. That would have been a magnificent goal from Bolton Wanderers.
Charlton, of course, do have another ace up their sleeve. Now, Bon is going to get booked here. Confrontation with the goalkeeper. He's pleading his innocence here, the Zimbabwe forward.
Now you can see James Trafford just trying to waste a bit of time, and it's petulance, isn't it? I know you want to try and win it back, but there's so much intent with that challenge, and I think he's quite fortunate, I really do, because the way he goes into to make a challenge on James Trafford, you have to be careful.
Well, off goes Sean Clare, and the ace up the sleeve I was talking about is 19-year-old Miles Leeburn, who, of course, comes with a famous surname. There is Dad Carl, who scored 65 goals for Charlton between 1987 and 1998. Someone that we see regularly, thanks to his sterling work with the Premier League. I'm sure he would like to have seen Miles on a little bit sooner, but he's going to get a quarter of an hour here to try and add to his 6 League One goals this campaign. 4 of those goals as sub, by the way.
Trying to work out how they're actually setting up, and it does look like they are a back 3 at times, but Maksaki's just coming on that right hand side and maybe filling in as a full-back stroke wing back.
Here's Campbell, drilled goalwards, but blocked by Bradley. Penny towards Leeburn on that near post, well away. Some excellent defensive work again, but here's Charlton trying to find a gap that didn't really exist. Good ball in, though! Oh, and Bon was hoping to touch it in.
Saki, brilliant. There's flashing balls in. You need one of them strikers. There's 2 strikers on the pitch now. Leeburn and Bon, and one of them's got to get across the near post. Both hanging out on that back post, waiting for the ball to come in.
Here's Adebayo for Bolton. Lovely quick feet. Dempsey. John. Dempsey again. Morley. Good ball that is for Bradley. Oh, and he tried to feed Adebayo, couldn't take it in his stride.
He's been bright and lively since being introduced, and I feel if he gets a better touch on this, he finds himself in a 1v1. Leonard Brewer should have done better on his touch. Brilliant pick out from Conor Bradley.
While you were watching that, there was a barge by Miles Leeburn, which has resulted in a free kick on Connor Bradley. This is it.
There's a big barge in the back. He's going to try and win that ball. That's what he's been brought on to do. Charles Lee-Burn. In comparison of size of Lee-Burn and Connor Bradley, there's no comparison, is there?
We've seen a couple of young strikers coming on. We're about to see a slightly older one in Cameron Jerome come on. John. Jones. I'm sure Bolton will feel a third goal would wrap it up here. Jones. The ball was never really on. Dobson got it away. And here's Morgan. Not just enough toll. Dobson, Bon. Well, Dion Charles is going to be replaced here by 36-year-old Cameron Jerome, signed yesterday. This is the goal that, at the moment, separates the sides.
Well, the striker might say it's easy, still had to make sure he hit the back of the net, which he did. He's worked so hard, I must admit. At times he's been up there on his own, with a little bit more support.
Jerome has scored here. It was for Norwich 8 years ago in the Championship. He's got an 18-month deal. Ness. And towards Bon. And the flag is up for offside here. Disbelief etched over the face of Macaulay Bon.
He's got a really good view of the line there, and I think he is offside as that ball comes in. I think just a step up from Santos. And this is big, isn't it? It really is. It means that they've still got the faith, and they are capable of getting back in this game. Proved that this season, 11 goals.
3 of them in that crazy match I was talking about earlier here against Ipswich. George Dobson popped up in the 99th minute to make it 4-4. There is history here this season. The job is certainly not done for Bolton. Bon. Confrontation with Santos. It's been a great battle between those two. Campbell. Kenny. So, we're going to see Josh Sheehan here for Bolton, and Kieran Lee will be the man replaced. Sheehan, the Welsh midfielder, comes on for his 10th league appearance of the season. He missed the start of the campaign with a ACL injury, which he picked up midway through last season. And he's just happy to be playing.
Well, I think you now look at the strength in depth. Ian Everton, Bolton, they've got players that they can bring on who are established. As I said, new introductions has been brilliant for the team and the squad.
Looking to dance through here. Jerome could be in. I think he tried to square it, and Ness was in the way. I'm wondering if Cameron Jerome is wondering if he should have just had a pop himself.
I don't think he realised how much time he had. Bradley's been brilliant from that right side again. Look at the movement, he gets a bit fortunate. A great little through ball again. It could have been tight for offside, but he's got to flash that back across goal with the left foot for me, and rather than trying to play that ball square to Bradley. He's got to go for goal in an area where I think he knows where he's about. He knows where the goal is for sure, Cameron Jerome.
Sheehan, who's literally just come on, has already picked up a yellow card for delaying the restart there. Certainly Bolton have had the chances to kill this game. They really will be kicking themselves if they fail to take the 3 points back up north. It certainly now looks like a squad which is challenging for promotion when you look at the options they have from the bench. Very, very strong.
Yeah, Cameron Jerome. We've got to talk about his career and where he's been. And his experience alone, he will help some of these younger players that are in this Bolton team and squad.
21 championship appearances this season, all a sub for Jerome. Here's John. Once again, Leonard Brewer able to make the comfortable catch. Charlton fans shouting wide, get it wide, instead of playing through the middle. They've got the wide players to cause the problems.
And you can see the frustration because early on in the second half they did that. They got the ball into wide areas. Now they've got two options through the middle, Bon and Leeburn, and that's what you want, 1v1 situations.
So brilliantly done, isn't it, by Bradley, up against someone who's a really tricky customer in Campbell.
I said he would have his work cut out, Conor Bradley, today, because this back three, back five, and him playing in the wing-back role where he's had to deal with pace and power in Blackett-Taylor, and then well, it's obviously changed. And Campbell coming on, who's direct, pacey, tricky, and he's done excellent.
Final five here. Innes with a big header towards Leeburn. Jerome. John. Morley. Campbell's header is straight to Owen Toll. He's done well there, Campbell. Forward by Penny. Innes with some defending to do. Penny. Given away again. Jones with a lovely bit of acceleration.
Excellent from Gethin Jones, driving.
Bon is the target here, comes off Santos, it's going to drop kindly for Miles Leeburn. With a bit of help. It's too deep, Campbell will try and retrieve, can't do so.
He was facing up his marker and he wanted to just try half a yard, didn't he?
So off goes Albie Morgan, who scored right at the start of this second half to make it 1-1.
Brilliant finish as well it was. I love the fact that the build-up, the approach play was excellent too.
Jack Payne is coming on for him. Aaron Henry replacing George Dobson in a double change. 19-year-old midfielder Aaron Henry. Boyejo chasing this down. Ness did well. There's another one for Bon to chase against Toll. Penny inside to Fraser. Is there anything left in this for Charlton? Campbell on this right side. Raksaki. Raksaki with the square ball. Lieburn. And behind for a corner.
Anytime Raksaki gets on the ball, it just creates a massive energy. It really does. I said they needed him on the ball a hell of a lot more than what we've seen today. It's a real big spark and quality.
We're in the 90th minute here. 5th corner for Charlton. And flicked on that near post by Ness, but behind. And it's going to be a hefty chunk of stoppage time at the end of this game. This is not over.
And it's Ness that just goes to the near post. It's such a difficult chance, it really is, because having to adjust and try and get the ball towards the back post.
Jerome looking to roll Ness, just running out of turf. He thought he was fouled.
I actually did feel as though he was fouled as well. He's got the experience of dealing with defenders, but that's a foul for me.
So 6 minutes of stoppage time. Penny. Big queue forming in the middle here, hoping for a cross. Back with Henry. Ness. Tyrese Campbell snaps it off the back of John for a corner. So it's Aaron Henry to take the latest Charlton corner. It is beaten to it by Santos. Comes out to Penny. That's really ambitious from there. Groans all around us. Well, it's your job, Lee, to name player of the match. Who are you going for?
Yes, it's that man Morley. Started the game particularly well. Let's have another look at this. Truly brilliant free kick. I said, it's in Beckham stick. Ball's in the back of the net from that sort of situation. That is very light, but not only that, his overall game, he's broke the play up, and he really has forced Bolton to play high up the pitch. Passing ability, all speaks volumes in his little corner box there. Well done.
Fraser. Morley, the player of the match, gets it away. Touch there from Ness. Oh, Adebayo has pinched it. Could be in here. And Innes has kept his side in the game. That would have been all over.
Well, that would have been horrible to see, because there possibly been two mistakes that led to goals, but I have to credit Ryan Innes. Made amends there, getting back and making sure that Adebayo wasn't scoring that third goal.
Fraser. Gets it back from Payne. Henry. Campbell. Campbell heads for the byline. We'll get a second chance as well. Back it goes. By Henry. Certainly asked all the right questions.
Brilliant delivery from Henry. Lots of pace.
Bradley. Under pressure from Macaulay Bonne there. He's got it up to Adebayo. Thought he was in for a dream debut, didn't he? A moment or two ago.
He should have scored that goal. I think he just tried to make sure, didn't he, by taking it by the defender and the goalkeeper. You can see what his intentions were.
Raksaki laid it off brilliantly. Santos did well again.
I'd say it's been a brilliant game overall, hasn't it? I think both sides have asked questions and good stuff.
Fraser. Into Raksaki, just beaten to it. Bolton doing enough at the moment. Just 2 minutes of stoppage time to go.
Yeah, anywhere will do. It's getting away from the danger zone.
On by Lieburn. Had to chase it himself because both centre-forwards went for the same ball. Away next weekend for Charlton, with 13th in the table, and Fleetwood here, 17th, and then Forest Green Rovers away, who are bottom, so it's a good run of fixtures coming up for the Addicts. Be bitterly disappointed if they come away from this with nothing.
They have. They showed really signs of character in the second half, coming out and getting back in level times, and disappointed, but it's Everett. These are the fixtures that they have coming, looming, and you do feel they're games that are winnable games, with that strength and depth that they have now. And as we said, key additions, the new additions, showing signs that they mean business this season.
Trafford time wasting, yellow card. Here goes Dempsey in round the back, and Adebayo thought he was in for a goal again. Denied again.
Brilliant block, and he should be on the score sheet, as simple as that. It's an excellent little ball back from Dempsey. And a brilliant block. How many times have we said that this afternoon? Lucas Ness just doing enough to force that ball away from goal.
Made his senior league debut in Ben Garner's final game last month. Come on leaps and bounds, isn't it? We played 6 minutes of stoppage time. Raksaki for Charlton. Fans screaming for this ball to go forward with time ebbing away. Payne. Now Campbell. This is surely the last chance for Charlton. It's Raksaki. Campbell. And the ricochet off Lieburn, goes behind, and it's victory for Bolton, underlining their promotion credentials yet again. Just one defeat in 9 now, and this was a terrific performance against the Charlton side who had won 3 league games in a row. What a performance, what a victory. All started by that wonderful free kick from Aaron Morley in just the 4th minute. Morgan equalised in the 1st minute of the second half, only for a defensive error to present the ball to Dion Charles, who netted his 14th goal of the season. Another winner from him, and a fabulous result for Ian Evatt. His side closer than ever now to the top 2. Are they wandering back to the Championship, I wonder? It's a setback for Charlton, but they have been in good form, and they've showed enough here today to suggest that they could yet make a charge for the playoffs. Great entertainment. It's finished at the Valley. Charlton Athletic 1, Bolton Wanderers 2.
Yeah, a big win for Bolton. They're not won successively 1 game since October, but they've just done that this week. Danny Cowley and Sam Parkin alongside me. Danny, Ian Evatt will be delighted with that win away from home. An informed Charlton side before today.
Yeah, absolutely. A fantastic win for Bolton. I think the best team won. A really good response at the beginning of the second half for Charlton, and then after they equalised, they had the momentum, but yeah, probably a defensive mistake has let Bolton find a second goal, and I think they were well worthy over the 90 minutes.
Yeah, for Bolton to show that character as well, because Charlton really came out firing in that second half. Ian Everett having a word about something, maybe that penalty incident we saw, but for him and the away support, is that a real statement as well now to beat an informed side like Charlton and to be looking up 8 points now off the top two?
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll be absolutely thrilled with the performance, especially the way they were penned back at the start of that second half. I thought Dion Charles, yes, Morley was exquisite in the middle of the pitch, but he looked in the mood from the outset. No surprise to me that he gets the winning goal. 5 attempts, the most out of any player out there, and even at half-time, having spurned a few opportunities, he looks like a man in form, and ultimately the difference in that second half, although they could have added 1 or 2 with Cameron Jerome in the picture, and obviously Adebayo coming on and having 2 good presentable chances. So I think a good day all round for Ian Everett, considering some new signings getting minutes, and again really responding to a little bit of a setback today, which they've done countless times this season. The amount of points they seem to take late in games, not today, but there's a real resilience about that group. Yeah,
it could serve them well. Let's see where that leaves them then in Sky Bet League One. Still 5th, but as Gary said on commentary, closing that gap to the top 2. They're on 50 points now, 8 points outside those automatic spots. But if they're looking over their shoulder, they've got a nice cushion to Wickham in 7th. And for Charlton, is it too late for a playoff push? We'll have to see. They've got 34 points and very much mid-table in 15th place. And we've got Scottish Premiership action for you tomorrow on Sky Sports. 4th v 3rd, Livingston against Hearts, and then Dundee take on top of the table Celtic after that. That will start at 12:30 Sky Sports Football. And the Jurassic era comes to an epic conclusion as 2 generations unite for the first time. Jurassic World Dominion is available now on Sky Cinema. Well, myself, Danny and Sam will be looking back at a big win for Bolton at the Valley this afternoon, really underlying their playoff credentials and perhaps even more. A fantastic goal followed by a slice of luck, perhaps. We'll look back on it all for the Trotters and for Charlton next.
Coverage of the EFL.
Well, after just 4 minutes, Bolton took the lead against Charlton. A brilliant free kick by Aaron Morley on his 50th appearance for Bolton, marking it in some style. But 22 seconds into the second half, Charlton equalised. Albie Morgan making it 1-1. But Bolton capitalised on a defensive mix-up for Dion Charles to sweep home. That made it 2-1, and that is how the game finished. Here's how it played out with your match facts, and it was the most shots Bolton have had in a League One game this season. The second most XG, expected goals, that any team has had in a League One game this season. That's the measure of the quality of chances they had. You can see they had 24 shots, and they shaded possession too. Well, Aaron Morley scored a brilliant goal this afternoon. A sumptuous free kick, certainly a contender for goal of the season. Himself and Dion Charles are talking to John Oakes.
Well played, you two. Dion, the end of a memorable week for you. Sent off in a case of mistaken identity, but 2 winners. So how would you sum it up for us?
Yeah, it's great to score, but everyone in the changing room dug in deep, and we've just shown to everyone what we can do.
What was the importance of the timing of that goal? Because the game was on a knife edge at that point, wasn't it, at 1-1?
Yeah, we come here with a game plan to win, and thankfully we've done that.
Aaron, terrific free kick for the first goal. He managed to get it up and over the wall, in off the post. I mean, it couldn't have been much better than that, could it?
I know, yeah. It was quite far out, so I thought, I might as well have a go. And I didn't think it went in when it hit the post, but luckily it dropped in the other side. In
terms of moments in your career, have you had many better than that? How does that rank?
Yeah, it's definitely up there with one of the best moments. I've scored quite a few good goals, but I think that's the number one.
Dion, the squad has been strengthened this week. A couple of new strikers came in yesterday. Do you welcome the competition up there?
Oh, definitely. It's always nice to have competition, and we'll back each other, and hopefully we can keep going on and winning games like this.
And Aaron, with the squad being strengthened and the really good position that you're in the league, how strong is the belief that you can get into the playoffs at the very least?
Yeah, definitely. We're just taking it game by game. We've got a plan for every game, so hopefully the 3 points will keep coming.
Great, thank you to both of you. Dion, if you do the honours for us, please. Aaron's the Sky Bet Player of the Match. Well done.
Yeah, well deserved, and saying that free kick, Sam, was one of the best moments of his career. I hope he's got his Skybox set to record, because let's see it again. Plenty of angles for him to reflect on as well, but the execution of this is just perfect.
Yeah, I need to have a look back through his show reel if that's not the best, because that's unbelievable, isn't it? Sumptuous, the technique, so deliberate. It goes exactly where he's planning on putting the ball. Wonderful execution. He had a really good all-round game. Could have had another goal in the first half. So really like the midfield three that Bolton have today. There's a nice balance in there of athleticism, a bit of craft as well around the box, which you need. And he's got a nice range of passing. And if he can do that every now and again, all the better.
Yeah, no one's taking free kicks off him now, are they, Danny?
Certainly not. No, it's just nice to see that technique. You see so many of the players now, they like to hit this knuckleball, they like to use this knuckleball technique, that kind of Ronaldo one where they hit it with their laces and try to get the wobble. But that was kind of, yeah, back to the early 2000s and David Beckham, wasn't it? Just staying on that ball a little bit for a little bit longer. And
then second half begins and Charlton weren't hanging around, Sam. 22 seconds is all it took to get on level terms. Bolton caught cold here?
Well, the dynamic just changed so quickly in the game. I didn't see it coming because Bolton were superior in the first half, but it's kind of indefendable, really. The intricacy of that move, the sharpness, the crispness of the passing is exquisite. You can see a few Bolton players get drawn out of their shape because of the quality of the opposition's movement and passing. And then the finish, it's well struck, but obviously the goalkeeper's going to be disappointed. It's jumped up a little bit off the turf, but I think Albie Morgan's probably a little surprised that ends up in the net.
Yeah, would you be questioning the keeper there, Danny?
I think he's an excellent goalkeeper. He obviously come from Manchester City, had a really good season in League One last year, and has been excellent this season as well. But yeah, I think he'll probably be disappointed, yeah.
But thankfully for him and Bolton, they took the lead, and this was a Charlton defensive mix-up. And how do you see this one? Who's at fault here, Sam, would you say, for Dion Charles to capitalise?
Well, it's a combination, really. We probably think that Innes sets off the panic that ensues by not dealing with that better. He should just get a firmer header, clear his lines. But then I think Maynard Brewer needs to maintain his position. As difficult as that may sound, he just needs to retreat, hold his position and make the striker beat him. Once Dempsey wins this header, you'll see he frees up the opportunity for Charles to have an unguarded net. So I think combination of centre-half and goalkeeper.
You think Dean Holden will be pretty annoyed about that one in the dressing room, Danny?
He'd be really disappointed with that goal, yeah, for sure, because I think Bolton deserved to win. I was really impressed with Bolton. I thought their control of the game, their intricacy in the final third, the amount of times they were able to find passes into the penalty area and create chances was excellent. But probably the goal that they score is off a Charlton mistake, and Dean Holden will definitely be frustrated as a consequence of that.
John asked Dion Charles about the competition in that Bolton dressing room now, as they brought in two strikers yesterday. Both came off the bench and looked really lively, but Ian Evatt will welcome this headache because Dion Charles has scored today, so surely he's going to keep his spot.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic for Bolton that they've got so many options. Obviously now 7 substitutes, and you can bring on 5 to have that kind of versatility and flexibility and be able to change it up. Because I think you look at Jerome and Adebayo, and you also look at Dion Charles, all give you something different. And that's not forgetting and Lundalu, who they've obviously got on loan from Southampton as well. So they've got some real firepower up at the top end of the pitch and a lot of goals in their team. And at the moment they're able to keep clean sheets. They're able to stop the ball going in one end and have real firepower at the other end. So it bodes well for them with the run into the end of the season.
His best chance probably fell to Raksaki, didn't he, Sam? And you said actually this is a really difficult chance to take. Are you being kind on reflection, or is that the case?
I think just because of his proximity to the goal when he's unmarked, people expect that to be a comfortable finish. It's not. The height it comes to him at, if you try and strike that, very difficult. I think he does the right thing on reflection, trying to guide it towards the far post, and then it's just about executing the skill, and he just doesn't quite do that. But if he helps that on its way into the far corner, it's a really good finish. It's an easy one to miss.
Yeah, Danny, I mean, for Charlton, maybe a bit limited in those golden chances in the second half, weren't they? Even though they seemed to have a bounce after the goal. What do you think happened?
Yeah, they scored, obviously, right at the beginning of the second half, and then they got a good momentum, and probably at that time of that chance, they would probably look the most likely in that little period. I think it was a difficult chance. His movement was actually excellent.
Yeah.
He saw the space and was able just to move into the space and kind of arrived as the ball arrived, and yeah, would have just liked better connection. But I think yeah, Bolton were a better team for sure. And although Charlton had a good finish to the game, they obviously went to the 3-5-2 and tried to push to find the equaliser. I think Bolton had good control and were worthy winners.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure Ian Evatt is a happy man this afternoon. We'll be hearing from him, and his opposite number, Dean Holden, went through all the emotions on the touchline today. But Ian Evatt, I'm sure, who's the happier. We'll hear from both bosses. That's on the way next. A big win for Bolton this afternoon on the road. They'd only won one of the last four, so a very welcome win away at Charlton in their quest for a playoff spot, perhaps even more. Let's hear from Ian Evatt talking to John Oakes.
Well done, Ian. How satisfying a win is that to complete a 6-point week?
Yeah, it's a big win. Look, away wins are always difficult. I think they ask you a lot of questions, especially in wide areas, and I thought the way we dealt with those threats was particularly pleasing. Look, we should have been more clinical and ruthless. We had numerous chances to put the game to bed. But we're improving, we're evolving all the time. I thought the new lads that come on were excellent. And the most pleasing thing really was our response and reaction from conceding a goal straight after half-time. It would have been easy for that to rock us and wobble us, but we went straight back into the groove. We kept on doing what was getting us joy and success, and eventually got that second goal.
Terrific free kick by Aaron Morley, wasn't he? He's got that ability, hasn't he?
He has. He's got that wonderful ability, and the one on the edge of the box first half as well. Anything probably on the target goes in, but he's a very technical player, a very young player that's improving all the time.
You've won every game when you've been leading at half-time. That's 10 out of 10 now that you've gone on to win. So when you were pegged back, have you got that belief that you can get back into it, get back ahead? Yeah, we've gone behind a fair few times and conceded goals and always reacted the right way. Look, that team doesn't know when to stop. It keeps doing things consistently well. And I've said to them all the time, if they maintain their belief and confidence as well as the energy and attitude, then we look a good team at times. Frustrating that it was as tight as it was, but it was a very good away performance. When they had come back into it and got that equaliser, how crucial is the timing of that second goal from you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, our response was excellent. Yeah. I thought we started dictating the game again and had one or two chances, probably looking for the extra pass rather than taking the shot and the finish on themselves. But they kept the confidence, they kept the belief, and eventually got the second goal and then saw the game out well. And it didn't matter that you didn't get the penalty a minute before. You thought it was, didn't you? Yeah, sometimes the football gods smile down on you. I think it was a penalty. But a minute later we got the second, which is important. You've been busy in the transfer window so far. Your two new strikers made their debuts off the bench today. Will you be busy before the deadline on Tuesday? Possibly. We're looking to strengthen and improve all the time. I think the new signings have had an impact. Shola Shortire was electric first half at times for a young boy to get on the ball and make things happen like he did was extremely pleasing. They're going down like flies as well at the moment. We're having a few injuries, but we'll see what we can do before Tuesday, sorry. And yeah, look to improve all the time. Thanks, Ian. Well done. Cheers.
Oh, big win for Bolton. Here they are in 5th in the playoff places, but they've got that 9-point cushion to Wycombe in 7th now. Given that, Danny, and perhaps the ambition they've shown in this window, signing Victor Adebayo for $500,000, the reported fee in the local paper, and being 8 points off the top two, might they be looking up now? Do you think those top two are catchable? Because everyone's been talking about Ipswich and what's going to happen there, but could the likes of Bolton just behind maybe spring a surprise on a few people? Yeah, I think they've earned the right to look up, particularly with the 2 wins this week, to win with 10 men on Tuesday night and then to back that up with an away win today. I think that they've every right to look up. I think they've got they're in a nice position within the playoffs. They're pretty stable there, and they're quite a well-developed team. They're a mature team now under Ian Evatt. You can see their game idea and the way they want to play. You can see that he keeps recruiting towards that game idea. And you compare them to Charlton today, and it's very early in Dean Holden's tenure, and you can see Charlton, a team that are still trying to maybe find their way, and this always takes time. So you can understand why Bolton are in the position that they're in. Yeah, another signing this window has been Shola Shortire. It's one thing doing in academy football where he's highly rated, Sam, but to transfer that into men's football at such a tender age, it's looking promising for him, isn't it?
Yeah, he was excellent in the first half. Really good tenacity, game awareness there, when to close, and I just love the delay in the pass as well, just drawing Innes towards him before playing in Dion Charles. Those two were a really nice combination. Received the ball. This was great, actually. The change of play there looks so simple, but it's not that easy to execute, especially, you know, someone, as you say, Michelle, who's played a lot of academy football, and he'll be loving this. You know, it's only down the road from Manchester, and an opportunity to play regularly, have supporters singing your name. It's the best time, really, when you first start playing regularly. And yeah, he's playing in a good side as well. As Danny says, this is a team that's mature in terms of what Ian Evatt wants them to do. They've got a great chance this season. I'm not sure he'll be looking up. I think he'll be delighted there's that gap developed between them and Barnsley, because the race for the 6th position, I think, in League One is going to go right to the wire, because you've got Peterborough, Wycombe just outside the playoffs right now, two very powerful sides that aren't in the mix right now.
Hopefully that's not a serious injury for him as well, Danny. But when you look at this Bolton side, and you look at the youth and maybe a blend with experience, you know, Conor Bradley as well, but then you've got Cameron Jerome. Sam mentioned the word mature there. Do you think Ian Evatt's onto a good blend here?
Yeah, I think they've got a really good blend. I think they've recruited really aggressively at the top end of the pitch. I think, you know, they've used the loan market well. I thought Conor Bradley, again, I think he's been brilliant all season. I think 10 goal involvements already, with goals and assists combined. And yeah, I think that they've got a nice mix. I think they can possess the ball and take the ball off the opposition. They constantly play through the lines and get to the final third. And when they get to the final third, they've got that kind of calmness and that control. And they, rather than forcing it, they pass the ball into the box, and they're able to get to bylines, cutbacks, and create a lot of chances. I mean, 24 shots away from home today, expected goals of nearly 4. That's an outstanding away performance.
Yeah, absolutely. But not so good for Charlton today. Their winning run is over. Let's hear from their boss, Dean Holden, with John.
Well, Dean, what's your verdict? Did you deserve something out of that?
I think it's a game of fine margins. I think the first half, Bolton were the better team. I don't think there was a lot in the game, but I think Bolton had the bigger chances. No doubt from the first whistle of the second half, we've come out. We've scored a brilliant goal, and we've been the better team for 25 minutes right up until their second goal. We've had the big chance with Jez Raksaki, just pulls it past the post, and they go up and score, I think, just around the 68th minute mark, whatever it was. So, you know, they're fine margins within games. I think if Jez scores that at 2-1, who knows? But there's lots of good in our performance today, but again, there's things that we need to keep working on.
How damaging is the timing of that goal when it could have gone either way at that point?
Yeah, exactly that. And you know, Bolton, they've been together a couple of years now. You can see that as a team, the way that they manage the game, the way that they play. You can see that it's a team. We're 4 weeks into the job, and I think it's probably a reflection of where we are and where we've been this season. If I'm being honest, I think even the 3 wins that we had coming into this, you know, could have gone either way. There really are small margins within games, so you know, there's lots to build on, lots to work on. We never get too up, too down after a win or a defeat. We address it and we move forward, and we have to do that now with another free week next week.
There was an immediate response straight after half-time. What did you say to the players?
I can't.
What can you tell us about what you decided to play?
I think we needed to play on the front foot more. Yeah. We gave Bolton a little bit too much respect, I think, and we certainly did that. To score so early in the second half through such a good goal from Albie is always a positive. But we stepped on the gas then. That was important, and we had them where we wanted them, and that's a really big moment in the game, as I say. So we didn't take it. We have to swallow our medicine, and you know, we're on the end of a defeat. We have to move forward.
Is it realistic to think that you could possibly challenge for the playoffs this season, or are you thinking more long term here?
We have to just focus on the next game. I think who knows where that takes us. The initial thing when we came into the job was we were 18th. We needed to get to mid-table. Playoffs was mentally too far away at that point, so the challenge was immediately to mid-table. We got up to that point, and then when you get there, it's about building on it. So you know, we believe we can do something really special at this football club. Whether that's back end of this season, next season, we'll see. But we'll keep building. There's loads to do. There's still some recruitment to do as well, and some players to leave the club, and then we'll see where we are come Tuesday night.
Are you looking to get more players in before Tuesday then? Is this the time to do it, to really make it your team?
Yeah, I think it's going to take longer than one window to do that, but yeah, certainly we're still in the market for 1 or 2 positions, and you know, we're confident that there's good work going on, and we'll see.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank you.
It's a funny time for Charlton, isn't it, Danny? I mean, Dean Holden's rejuvenated the fan base, and they had 3 league wins in a row before today, but then you start to look at the league table and think the playoffs are becoming out of reach now, potentially. So what does Dean Holden do for the rest of the season? You must have been in this situation before. Playoffs perhaps out of reach, you're looking fairly safe. But then again, his contract is only till the end of the season.
Yeah, I think good question. I think, yeah, I don't see a Charlton team that can make the playoffs. I don't think that they can make up the points. I don't see that here and now they have the quality to do that. I think they have some fantastic young players coming through. I mean, they've got a brilliant academy at Charlton. I think just recently they beat Liverpool 8-1 at under-18 level. So they've got some fantastic young players, and I think it can be a really exciting time for Charlton, actually, if they can blood some of these young players, give them the game experience, build them as players, either as assets or as players that can come in and play for Charlton in the long term. And I think that if they do that and they commit to that, then there'll be a much better squad going into next year as a consequence of that. But to do that, they have to think long term. And the first thing they need to do is probably give Dean Holden a longer contract, because if he hasn't got a longer contract, he won't have the security in his job to be able to commit to that kind of long-term sort of strategy, I suppose.
Do you think he seems a good fit, Sam, for the club?
Absolutely. I've been really impressed with him and completely agree with Danny there. Needs to be long-term planning there, thinking. I thought that Ben Garner was a good appointment. I think with time, he may have been able to get a really competitive Charlton side out there. I thought he lacked probably the players within his squad to execute the type of football. So now they need to look at Dean Holden. They need to keep him there for longer than just this season. They need to have an identity. He needs to get an opportunity to recruit in a couple of windows. He's spoken about there being an imbalance in the squad. He's going to do his best to rectify that, I'm sure, in January, but that's a longer-term thing. The supporters will be despondent tonight because Charlton shouldn't be where they are in the table. They'll feel it's another season, we're not going to make the playoffs, but realistically, and the realism has to set in that the problems are probably, you know, bigger than who's going to be the manager today or tomorrow. It needs to be, you know, a long-term strategy moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Danny, Sam, great to have your company this afternoon. And coming up on Sky Sports, next after us on Sky Sports Football, it's a Saturday, it's just gone 3 o'clock, so Jeff and the team are here, of course. Well, not such a happy valley then today with the Trotters in town, but a big win for Bolton. Thanks for your company. Goodbye.
Sky Sports Football. Feel it all.